Good morning, everybody. It is 9:15 on Friday, September 4th. For first thing I want to point out, just a reminder that I am going to be stepping out today after this live broadcast at about 10:15. So I'll stay on for an hour or so to catch the first hour of action. We have SPY opening gap down significantly lower after an ugly jobs report, but we could look at the chart of SPY and see on the daily chart that this was expected regardless of what the jobs report said. Maybe there was a leak in the information and it was reflected in the charts. Either way, using the charts, we could have seen that a bearish day was coming. That is because we had a long upper wick, which shows profit taking and the bears stepping in, and we saw the downside pressure unfolding yesterday in the final hour. So for SPY right now, we are watching the pre-market low of 96.50. That was set early on. Then we moved up, made a nice bounce, and now we're trying to set a higher low at 96.78. So the resistance we're trying to get over is the 20-period moving average on the 5-minute chart, 97.93. We also have the 100 period that knocked down the price on this original bounce at 98.79. So those are the two levels we are watching here. Nice volume on this bullish candlestick, but we still got 15 minutes to go into the open. We will see if this is going to be a gap down with a quick drop first thing in the morning and then some bounce opportunities. I expect that'll be the case. Whether the bounces materialize into anything more than just a quick flip, we'll have to stay on top of it to watch. Most stocks are being dragged down. Oh, this is a Netflix stock. Thank you very much. That is not SPY. Let's look at SPY here. So SPY found the bottom at 191.88 and is now making its way up and is also fighting the 20-period moving average resistance. So with these stocks, the majority of them are going to be fighting the 20-period moving average resistance, and once we get above that, that will be the first sign of a potential bullish move here. I appreciate that, Ray. So we have the 193.24 20-period resistance, and the 100-period resistance is 194.24. So 193.24 and 194.24 are the two levels we are watching, with SPY seeing some nice recovery after falling off a cliff here. And we will see if this is just a short-lived bounce that is going to get rejected from these resistances, or if we can get back over 193 and start working on filling this gap. So I had already covered Netflix, which you saw. I'll just touch back again. Netflix 96.50, setting a higher low and working on those 20 and 100 period moving averages, just like SPY is going to be watching. Pretty much all stocks that we are looking at this morning are going to be testing those resistance levels. Here's GoPro. We are watching a price target of 37.50 or low 37. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see the previous big pullback. That is where support was found, and we are testing those support levels now. The daily chart is very oversold for GoPro, so if we see some extended downside here this morning, it might be the time to get in on the bounce. We'll be watching that one very closely off that support level. We also have AMBA, which is now under its $71 support, which it saw on the market crash. It went all the way down to 71, so now we are looking at 68.30, which is support on the weekly chart. And AMBA is another one that is oversold hand in hand with GoPro, so we will be looking for a bounce there as well. We're going to be watching the markets closely because it is entirely possible, looking at the daily chart of SPY, SPY could have some more downside here. We had the low, so we had the original pullback for SPY where we hit the low of 182.40 on the market crash. Then we bounced up, and after pulling back from the original bounce, we found support at 190.73. So we could potentially come all the way down to that level before finding support for SPY, as that would continue to hold the higher low pattern. And if we break that level of 190.73, it's going to be significantly bearish, and we will see downside potentially all the way back to the low from the market crash of 182.40. So now we are going to look at Twitter. Twitter is fighting the 20-period moving average resistance as well, and the 100 and 200 period are going to be the key levels to get above if we see any kind of bullish movement on Twitter. That's at 28.24 and 28.22. So keep your eye on those levels. If we do get above them, it will be a significantly bullish development. We're watching Sunni here. We could see Sunni, depending on what the market's going to do, come up and test $12 resistance. I expect a pullback here just because it's been a nice few-day run, and the middle Bollinger Band resistance might cause some problem here on the daily chart as we pulled back from there yesterday. The 100 period moving average resistance has knocked down the price this morning. That level is 1187. So watch that one into the open here. FTR, not much pre-market volume at all. Going to need to look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, we had a nice bullish close yesterday. A close above 561, which was the previous high on the spike back there on the August 17th is the key level to get above. Yesterday was very bullish to close above the 100-day moving average resistance, which knocked the price down last time. RSI still has a little bit of room to go. The MACD just made a bullish cross, nice increase in volume, but the upper Bollinger Band resistance of 566 should contain the price here, so not a whole lot of upside before hitting the upper Bollinger Band. This is one that I would like to wait for a support back test, and I mean that, let me pull up the daily chart here for you to follow along. After busting through the 100 period moving average resistance, I would like to see it pull back down, consolidate a bit, and test that level as support, giving some possible entry off of 536. And before continuing the move up to get a close above 561. You want to set a higher high over this peak and might need some consolidation before that happens. TQQQ. Again, 20 period moving average resistance, 88.68. Heading down pre-market here, pulling up the daily chart to see where we can find some potential support. Looking at TQQQ. So we had support of the 10-day moving average at 90.79, currently well below that. Next support is down here at 84.83. So most stocks we look at have this pattern here where we have the big drop off, the bounce getting rejected from either the 10-day or the middle Bollinger Band moving average resistance, coming down, setting a higher low, making a little bounce, and then pulling back yesterday, and then we're going to see another pullback today. So we want to see all these stocks, if we are bullish, hold these higher lows. And if they hold that, then we can work on turning these resistances into support, the moving averages. But if we get lower lows over these original pullback lows, then we're going to come down and test the market crash support for all of these stocks, which is a long way away for some of them. So if we see lower lows off that little bounce being set, we are going to know that there's more downside to come. Switching back to Fidelity. DWTI is one you want to make sure you are watching the price of oil. I expect there to be some consolidation in oil as there have been crazy moves and lots of volatility, and things need to calm down a bit. So it's not going to be as lucrative a volatile swing flip play, but for DWTI, important support right now is at the 100 and 200 period moving average support on the 5-minute chart of 104 and 104.05. So if you see a break of 104, you could come down to the 100 level, which was seen this morning. But again, that's one where you want to have the price of crude oil up and watching the candlesticks on that chart. Baba is back below 66, not a good sign here in the morning, pulling back with the market. Obviously, maintaining 66 as support is important, and if they bulls can close above 66, it'll be a good sign. Currently, the 20 period moving average resistance of 65.55, and we have some strong resistance up here at 66. Excuse me. So if we can close above 66, we'll maintain it as support. Otherwise, we're going to come down and test 64 support for Baba. Tesla is down this morning as well. Again, we're watching the 20 period moving average resistance of 240.94. Going to pull up the daily chart for Tesla. Currently trading at 239.70. And that puts us below the middle Bollinger Band on the daily chart and above the 10-day moving average resistance. So middle Bollinger Band 10-day support, excuse me. So the middle Bollinger Band resistance is 241.25, and the 10-day moving average support is 236.69. So watch 236.69. We had the low on the original bounce pullback. That was 236.97. So if we break that level, we are going to come down to the 200-day moving average support of 229.11, and that would be a bearish sign. Again, if any bulls want these stocks to hold their higher low that they found when they pulled back from the original bounce from the market crash. So if we see those lows break, we're going to see some more significant downside for many stocks here. Netflix I already covered, but I'll go over it again. We got 96.50 as the pre-market low, set a higher low here, now working on 97.87 20-period moving average resistance. The 100 period is what knocked down the price back here. That is 98.72. The higher low support is 96.78. So looking to hold 96.78 and 96.50 and work on turning 97.87 back into support. WMT, not a whole lot of volume this morning. We got a bunch of moving average resistance in the 64s. 200 period is at 64.53, the 20 period is at 64.53, and the 100 period is at 64.70. Pulling up the daily chart for WMT. We have 10-day moving average support. It closed above it yesterday at 64.73. 3 days of higher lows, and a close above 66 would be extremely bullish. Currently trading at 64.29, so we're back below the 10-day moving average. So that resistance level is 64.73. And support, we have support of the low of the day on Wednesday, which was 64.06, and the low of the day on Tuesday, which was 63.27. We got 3 minutes until the open here. No pre-market volume on VMC. Looking at the daily chart. Nice bullish pop here, but the resistance at 99, we are seeing a lot of selling and profit taking with that long upper wick from yesterday. Had a high of 99.20. The high on the previous high was 99.30, so that is a lower high and pulling back from there. Need to see a close above 98.94, which was the high close for the party to continue. RSI still has plenty of room to go. The MACD just made a bullish cross, but that upper wick shows me we could see some consolidation down to back test the middle Bollinger Band support of 94.08. UVXY, nice bullish start to the day. Pulling up the daily chart just to look at it, we have 76 resistance, as you can see just this morning, pulling back multiple times for that level. Support is 73.47, the 20-period moving average. 200-day moving average resistance on the daily chart is 74.24, so currently just above that level. Want to get a close above that. And after that, it is looking good. The upper Bollinger Band resistance is 85, but a close above the 200-day moving average is what the bulls of UVXY would be looking at, which UVXY is an inverse short-term futures play. So the market goes down, UVXY goes up. Seeing a little bit of recovery here in SPY. We got 2 minutes to go. I'll check back in on SPY right before we open. Apple downtrend as well, lower lows, lower highs. 20-period moving average resistance is the key to get above 109.40. Pulling up the daily chart. We had a low this morning of 108.65. That's a key low to hold. Don't want to break below 108.65 on the daily chart. We have 10-day moving average support of 109.17, currently flirting around that level. And the low from the higher low from the pullback from the bounce is 107.36, so that is a must-hold level right there for Apple, 107.36. Looking back at SPY here right before the open, 1 minute left to go, and it's all about the 20-period moving average resistance right now, 193.18. Some nice bullish recovery from this oversold bounce, but a lot of proving to do. We're watching the MACD here for a bullish cross. Here's the open. Netflix is above 98 and now back below it. Sunni down to 1164. We're seeing that pullback from the middle Bollinger Band rejection yesterday, expecting a test of $11 in the fairly near future. Eyes, we are watching support of 850. That's a key level we're looking at. GoPro, we're looking for 3750 to hold as support, and Ambia 6830. So markets here, first couple minutes aren't going to show us much. We will see just how much strength there is. Being patient with all our plays and stocking the trades we want to make. Opening down 1.3% today and getting rejected from the 20-period moving average resistance. That is going to be sign number one if the bulls have any hope of turning today around. So we'll see here, SPY coming back to test that resistance. RSI is trying to make a 50 bullish cross with the bullish MACD cross. So a little bit of strength here from the bulls in the morning first thing. Netflix just set its high of day. GoPro's right at its high of day. Sunni as well. Following along with this SPY, a little bit of strength we're seeing. We'll have to see if there's anything to it here. Still 4 minutes before this candlestick closes, and we are eyeing the 20-period moving average resistance that it is currently fighting. Loco is going to need a very bullish recovery here in order to stay above the 10-day moving average resistance and to stay on our potential swing play. So far it hasn't materialized, the volume hasn't been there, so that's a lesson learned. We got eyes as another place similar to that. So that's one where you wouldn't want to play a swing play using options just because the time to decay is going to eat away at you, as we don't know when volume will show up or how long it'll take to play out. But watching eyes for support, a potential double bottom support, not initiating that swing play yet, just stalking it. So a little bit of strength here in the morning, relatively of course, with the big gap down off the job numbers. Checking in with Sunni here, hitting its 100-period moving average resistance after a nice bounce off the 200-period support. That's 1186 resistance, looking like we're coming up, could potentially test $12 here. And I would expect some resistance to be found, but if we do get above $12, here's a flirting with green right now, that's a good sign. If we do get above $12, we could see a test of the middle Bollinger Band resistance. So seeing a nice little bounce here first thing in the morning, not a doom and gloom sell-off. We saw the big sell-off between 9 or 8:30 and 9, and now seeing some recovery here. Sunni testing its high of day. Netflix, $100 is going to be psychological resistance. We'll have to see how it reacts to that price if it gets there. GoPro is heading down, breaking the trend of SPY, heading down as SPY heads up, so that's worth noting. And we're going to test 3750 support coming up here. I want to pull up the chart to see how oversold we are on the 5-minute. Soaring, that's a double bottom in eyes. We are not seeing that yet. That's what we are watching for on the daily chart. So here's GoPro breaking 3750. RSI is approaching oversold. The daily chart is extremely oversold. We are going to be initiating GoPro as a bounce swing play, not yet, but in the near-term future, as we have seen 5 red days in a row. The RSI is now 18.7 on GoPro. And we are looking at the weekly chart to find the support. And the support there was at the previous dip, which hit a low of 37.13. So continuing to hold that support right now today, and we're going to be watching low 37s closely for a potential reversal for GoPro. Let's see how SPY is shaping up now that we've got the first candle locked in on the 5-minute chart. Some of the bullish exuberance this morning was knocked down and closed below the 20-period moving average resistance still. Trying to see some follow through here on the second candlestick. 193.15 is the key level to close above here. High a day for Netflix over 99, seeing some recovery here. AMBA was back over 71 very briefly there. Seems to be following SPY as most things are this morning. 68.30 was support below 71. So 71 now is resistance. Flirting with that level back and forth. So it's a good sign for the bulls here this morning that we are not falling off a cliff with the markets. Seem to be recovering some of the pre-market losses. Netflix 200 period moving average resistance on the 5-minute chart is 100.55, and we got the RSI at 66, making its way up to potentially overbought. Support on a pullback back test will be 98.68. So SPY, the high of the first candlestick was 193.43, and then we had a high of 193.46. I want to see a little bit more convincing higher high than that. Watching volume, 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick. So AMBA's looking good now, back at its high of day, seeing a bounce there from 69 to 71.50 so far. Period moving average support of 70.74 and the 100 period resistance of 72.75. AMBA had 4 gap downs in a row, so could see a quick little bounce there. Suni hit up to 11.98, unable to test $12 resistance so far. Here's Netflix making its way towards $100, but again, the 5-minute chart is slowly becoming overbought on Netflix after this big green candlestick. Still at 66, 67, so could see a move up to this 200 period resistance before getting rejected, or the 100 psychological level. Suni is trying to flirt with green here. AMBA keeps setting higher highs. Nice bounce off AMBA this morning. A doji here finding support off 69 and seeing some follow through on that doji. Twitter is green. First green stock I'm watching here. Nice explosion of bullish volume. Want to wait for a back test of the 200 and 100 period moving average support of 28.24 and 28.21. Here comes Suni to test $12 very shortly, it appears. AMBA's up to 72 now. So a nice gap down open with some bullish recovery here on most stocks. GoPro back over 38. Twitter now back testing these supports I just pointed out. So Suni hit a high of 11.98 and then pulled back, looking like that $12 resistance is going to be fairly strong. Seeing a little bit of consolidation now in SPY after the bullish first 10 minutes. Will close above the 20 period moving average support though, which is a good sign and sign number one for a bullish start to the day. That support level is now 193.15. We have the 100 period moving average resistance of 194.12 is the next target to get above 193.15. Looking like we might back test that support level right now. AMBA is still above 72, although just below it now as I say that. So here's the back test of support for Twitter. It'll be strong if we hold this level. I'm going to pull up the daily chart for Twitter to see what we're looking at for support and resistance levels there. Middle Bollinger Band support of 27.50 and resistance of 29. So looking like Twitter might see another test of 29 today. One of the more bullish looking stocks comparatively. I'll do my best to speak more clearly, as yesterday afternoon I said Twitter and Netflix were the most bullish looking stocks, and I meant that in a comparative sense because the whole market was bearish and they were both still in bearish downtrends, but compared to everything else they had a higher low set, so they were looking better than everything else. As you can see, Twitter is following through nicely and Netflix not so much at all. So I'll clarify from now on in the future that I did not mean a bullish move was coming. I just meant comparatively they looked more bullish than the rest of the group we were looking at. So SPY here looking good, coming back up to the high of the day. Three green candlesticks in a row, still 4 minutes to go left in this one. Netflix back over 99, looking for a break of 100 there, but definitely needed consolidation on the 5-minute chart as we were getting pretty overbought fairly quickly with that big candlestick. The back test of support here is 98.66. Twitter is back testing those key levels below them right now. We'll see if the bulls can get back above them in the next 3 minutes. AMBA is still maintaining 71 support, so there's Twitter bulls buying back up and holding that support for now. Still 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick, but looking like that support's going to be nice and strong here for Twitter. Potentially another test of 29 today. SPY is back up, testing its high of day. GoPro looking nice here. Let's look at TGT. That 200 period support is very important, and it is 76.91. Resistance is the 20 period 77.37. Looking at the daily chart for TGT, we have the 10-day moving average support of 76.65. 76.91, the key level on the 5-minute chart. Resistance is 77.65, and that is the 200-day moving average. It looks like pretty strong resistance. The price has been knocked down by the middle Bollinger Band, 77.91, twice now on this bounce. The higher low that was set was 75, so if we get above the middle Bollinger Band on TGT, it will be a great sign that the $80 test is coming. So SPY set a new high a day, looking good. Netflix is still consolidating and not following SPY because it had a nice bullish start to the day and needs some consolidation. Loco is looking to go green here. I'll pull up the Loco daily chart to see where the 10-day moving average is in a minute. Sunni coming back, trading fairly closely with SPY, so we'll see if it tests $12 there. Tesla is holding the 20-period moving average support of 241.02. Resistance is 244 on the 100-period moving average. That's coming down. Should bounce around these levels briefly. SRPT Nice bullish start to the day. Support on the 20 period is 33.25 and resistance is 35.06 and 35.08. Pulling up the daily chart. SRPT 50-day moving average support is 32.85. That's the level that held on the market crash. Resistance is the middle Bollinger Band of 34.80, and the 10-day moving average is right there as well. So this candlestick is about to close on the 5-minute chart. Let's see if Twitter maintained that support. It maintained the 100, closed below the 200, so still needs some proving to do. Nice 4 candles in a row of higher lows. So SPY, a nice start to the day, a nice increase in bullish volume last 5-minute candlestick. Looking like we're going to consolidate a wee bit. Don't want to break the trend of higher lows if you are bullish. We have the 20 period moving average support of 193.15 and resistance of 194.11. Eyes is now green at 902. Let me pull up our swing play charts here. Eyes only has 12,000 volume, so again, it's a low volume play. Similar to Loco in that sense. We have the 10-day moving average resistance of 918. If we see a close above 918, it's going to be a great sign. RSI is still oversold, and the MACD is begging for a bullish cross. So 10-day moving average has knocked down the price 4 days in a row now. We will see if it's going to be 5 days. Support was 891 the past 2 days, and just 3 pennies below that today. So that's still going to be some strong support if we can hold it here and close above the 10-day moving average. Looking at Loco on the daily chart, the 10-day moving average that we need to maintain as support is 1251, so currently flirting with that level. A break of the high day yesterday, 1283, would be a bullish sign. SPY consolidating a bunch here, trying to hold this 20 period moving average support of 193.13. Just kiss that level right now. So watching SPY here for a test of the support. Not liking that bearish volume. We still have 3 or 2.5 minutes left to go in this candlestick, and already seeing almost an increase in volume from the previous 5 minutes. So going to watch closely here on this support test. Netflix coming down to test its 100 period moving average support of 98.63. Decreasing volume pattern so far. After 98.63, we have 98 flat. So the next 10 minutes are going to be pretty telling for the market, just to see if support can hold and we can maintain the bullish sentiment to this morning. Pre-market was obviously very bearish with a significant pullback, and now we are seeing if the bulls can step in and buy this dip to close this gap. Let's see where the gap is for SPY on the daily chart with this gap down open. Low of the day yesterday for SPY was 194.96, so that's where the gap fills. Got about $1.16 shy of that with the high of the day today. A low of 191.89 pre-market for SPY would still be a third higher low. We had the first low on the market crash, a second low on the pullback from the bounce, and this would be a third low. So we're going to want to see that maintain if we are bullish in the market. So SPY is flirting with this key support right now. 1 minute left to go in the candlestick. Looking like Netflix might test 98 flat support, which was the 20 period moving average. 1 minute left to go before this candlestick is locked in. Closed below it and seeing a little bit more continued downside here, so that's not a good sign for the bulls. 192.83 is the low of the day from open. Increase in bearish volume is of concern to the bulls. We've got two lower lows now in a row on SPY and a new low of day. So zooming out, we've got a low of pre-market here at 191.88, and that is a key level to hold. Still in the downtrend, as you can see, pre-market we had the highs hit the 100 period moving average resistance and pull back, and now we set lower highs from that level. So the bears might not be done here. $12 resistance was a nice sell target for Sunni today, as we're going to see some more downside there as well. So we'll be watching closely here on SPY, which has bearish sentiment here in the morning after this little bullish start to the day has now been erased in 10 minutes on some volume too. That's the key to note, is the bearish volume lets you know that this move is for real down and not just a little consolidation. UVXY, I assume, is going up as the market goes down now. Had the high pre-market of 76.69, which is going to coincide with the low of the market on SPY. Support is the 20 period of 73.73, but this is one where support and resistances don't really matter, as you should just be watching SPY as you're playing this stock and be watching the support and resistances on SPY. So the support right now on SPY is 191.88. Netflix still got that support of the 20 period at 98 even. AMBA is still maintaining 71 support. Soarin, our targets for AMBA are 71 support, and our support for AMBA is 71 and 68.30. Got 68.30 by looking at the weekly chart, previous low, but still maintaining this 20 period 70.73 support. Decreasing volume on this consolidation, so the bulls aren't really scared of this consolidation just yet here. And a break above 72.62 would be a very bullish sign. GoPro fighting to maintain the 20 period moving average support of 37.95, looking like they might do it here. That's a nice long lower wick showing the bulls buying the dip and a higher low from this morning. There is resistance at 38.40. You can see these two candlesticks getting knocked back, some long upper wicks there. But this candlestick is a very good sign for the bulls on GoPro. So the target of support for GoPro for a longer term bounce play was 37.50. We hit 37.37. We'll see if that level holds. Tesla is getting close to its low of day. If we see a break of 240, it will signal more downside. The pre-market low was 238.23. So a break of 240 and we're coming to 238.23. So if AMBA maintains 71 as support, it is bullish. If GoPro maintains 38, it is bullish. SPY now, the increasing red volume, not a good sign. As you can see, the past two candlesticks, that was no joke bearish volume. So it looks like oil is pulling back today. Again, if you're playing DWTI or UWTI, pull up the candlestick chart of crude oil from investing.com and follow that. Sunni here, you can see the ugly upper wicks and lower highs signaling the resistance up around $12. Support was found this morning off the 200 period. That level right now is 1162, and that is our target for support. If 1162 breaks, we could come down to $11 either today or tomorrow. But 1162 is the level right now. Resistance is 1185. So there's AMBA on this little consolidation of decreasing volume, seeing a nice bullish recovery here. Watching volume, still 3 minutes left to go in this candlestick, so looking good on volume for this candlestick. Resistance is the high of the day and the 100 period moving average of 72.57. GoPro still maintaining 38. Thank you for posting the link. AMBA's looking good here, coming up to test its high of day. Pretty wide bid and ask. It was just almost a quarter there. Twitter back over 28. Let's see where those 100 and 200 period resistances were. Very key levels. Oh, they're all the way up at 28.20 and 28.25. Still have a higher low this morning so far. GoPro back below 38. 20 period moving average support of 37.96. Netflix trying to turn the 100 period back into support of 98.58. Decreasing volume on the pullback, a good sign for the bulls. You can see that's the opposite of SPY. Here we have 3 red candles decreasing volume, and on SPY we have 2 red candles increasing volume. Resistance for Tesla is 240.89, currently testing that level. We had the low first thing this morning of 240.01 and a low just now of 240.07. So it did maintain that little double bottom on the day so far. Resistance at 243, as you can see the upper wicks to these 4 candlesticks. Still keeping our eye on eyes for a close above the 10-day moving average resistance on the daily chart. Slow moving swing play potential. Resistance on SPY here is the 20 period that's coming down of 192.97. Netflix is coming back down to the 20 period moving average support of 97.98. That's a key level. It's hitting resistance of 98.56 as well. And we'll be back in 5 minutes here to catch the rest of the morning. It's been a half an hour to start the day. Bullish start after the gap down and now seeing some consolidation. And the bulls needing to show up in a big way fairly quickly. Otherwise, we're going to see continued downtrend on the day. I will be right back.